is an overview of the upcoming Association for Strategic Planning presentation. I'm Joyce Reynolds-Sinclair, co-founder and past co-president and currently strategic advisor to the ASP NorCal chapter. And I am excited about this presentation, Use Conscious Capitalism to Inform Your Strategy, which will be on Wednesday, June 30th. The presenter is Kris Schaeffer. She's here with me today to talk about this session. Kris spent 35 years as a management consultant to create more robust cultures for companies, both employers and clients, such as Levi Strauss, Pepsi-Cola, Anheuser-Busch, Pacific Bell, AT&T, MasterCard, and many other firms. Kris also co-founded and ran the community outreach program for the Association for Talent Development and for the Organization Development Network. And this mobilized OD and training professionals to donate their services to the Bay Area nonprofit community. Hello, Kris. I am delighted to be here with you, especially since we've known each other so many years and have had so much fun catching up.
Thank you so much, Joyce. It's a wonderful opportunity to talk with the Association for Strategic Planning. And I'm really thrilled to share the information about conscious capitalism because it's an incredible movement that has companies become a force for good in the world.
Well, I'm excited to hear. That's great, Kris. First question, how did you get into conscious capitalism?
Well, you've already introduced me as the woman who lived in two worlds. I was a management consultant. At the same time, I did a lot of pro bono work. And when conscious capitalism came along, I guess I saw it as a way to integrate these two halves of my life into one unified whole. And it's, I was curious. I wanted to see whether or not a company that espoused being conscious really was. So I went on a site visit to the plant of Barry Waymiller. Now that's one of the heroes of conscious capitalism. Bob Chapman has been the CEO there for 35 years. And he espouses running a company as though every employee is family. So I needed to see that for myself. And when Bob asked me, well, what's your story? I told Bob that I had retired twice. And he laughed. He said, oh my, you retire if all you had was work, but you keep working if it's a calling. And I realized right then that conscious capitalism was my calling and that I went full in. I spent a year studying to become a certified consultant in conscious capitalism.
Wow. So it seems as though you're really purpose-driven and conscious capitalism is purpose-driven. Just want you to know that there's a whole movement in strategic planning and strategy development around purpose as really driving the strategy. And so I think this is going to be a great session, especially for the people who are looking at purpose, and they'll learn a lot about conscious capitalism at this session.
Great.
So tell me about who is involved in conscious capitalism today.
Well, conscious capitalism actually is a formal movement, the Conscious Capitalism Incorporated, and it is directed toward mostly mid-size and private companies. So in a way, we may not have heard about all the heroes in conscious capitalism. Barry Waymiller is a privately held $3 billion business, global. So we don't always know in the public press who those conscious companies are. Secondly, it is a global movement, but also I'd say some of the primary areas around the globe are India, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand. Those countries tend to have very large groups of consultants and companies who are moving forward to embrace this idea of creating businesses that are good for the world.
But don't we need that?
Oh boy, and what I said mostly mid-sized companies, but something outstanding happened 2 years ago, and that is the Business Roundtable. It's the largest group of publicly held companies in America. There are 188 members, 181 CEOs, backed by their boards of directors agreed to a new restatement of corporate purpose. No longer is the stockholder the primary reason. It's the stakeholders. And so that the stakeholders, whether it's the planet, employees, customers, all of them have primacy over making profit. So it's an incredible change. It's going to take some time. We've been doing stockholder primacy for 50 years. These companies will change because the world needs to have this change happen.
And changing their strategy is critical. So I am so glad to have you here. Tell me a little bit more about what attendees will get from attending your session, Kris.
Well, first of all, I think that conscious capitalists and consultants like me are the natural partners for strategic planners.
Yes.
We can both be thought leaders in the organizations to help them appreciate the need to really move forward. Conscious capitalism is the future. I think strategic planners are naturally embrace the future. And that what has happened in the past is that we've had some incremental steps toward that future. Corporate social responsibility, for example, but that is not yet conscious capitalism. So that conscious capitalism, we almost call it 5 stages of a kind of a company. Mm-hmm. That, of course, at the lowest stages, you're barely conforming to the law. There's some pretty bad actors. Most companies are at this stage 3. They're doing their business, they're creating profit, but they don't realize that they could achieve a higher purpose. So what strategic planners can do is to show a future of some big, hairy-ass goals where the SWOT analysis would tell you that you're going to be threatened competitively if you aren't conscious. Right. That there is an opportunity to truly change the way you do the business for every one of your stakeholders, where employees who trust you do a better job, that customers who believe in you sell your product for you by word of mouth advertising or their own loyalty and repeat business. So what strategic planners will get is an opportunity to see this future and to become thought leaders themselves as they work in their client organizations.
Well, I really look forward to learning about what those stages are and looking at how to structure strategies that get alignment among all the different stakeholders, and use conscious capitalism to inform my consulting. So Yep. This is really great. Kris, thanks so much for taking the time and doing this overview. Brief as it is, you've really given us some very valuable nuggets. To register to use conscious capitalism to inform your strategy, which will be on Wednesday, June 30th, please just go to the events page for ASP, the Association of Strategic Planning, at www.strategyassociation.org, and they select the June 30th session. It'll be at 10:30 for 75 minutes. Viewers, we hope to see you there.
Thank you, Joyce.